How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Two Penny Games Piggy Bank.
Piggy Bank.
Your favorite casual gaming podcast with, once again, my singular casual gaming bud, because Connor, he's still gone.
Still on
We've got
vacation.
Tavin Bothell.
What's poppin', players? Oh my god.
How you doing today, buddy?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good today, Phil. I had this big... one of the classes I have in school is a teaching lab, which is where they teach people to be teachers, specifically for theater artists, because I am a theater major. And so we've had this big project that we've been leading up to, where we basically have to create a lesson plan and create a lesson, and then present and demo 20 minutes of that lesson to the class, and then get feedback and stuff. And so I did mine today, and it went extremely well. It went extremely well. So I'm very, very happy with that. Other than that, I'm doing okay.
I could picture you doing like teaching a class like that. I picture you in your James and the Giant Peach costume.
With the fucking suit that I did.
Yeah.
I was we inserted me and Phil were once in our community college days. We were in a children's theater production of James and the Giant Peach, in which we inserted and rewrote the script to have a narrator, and I was fortunate enough to be able to play that narrator, and that was a lot of fun. And for that, I believe it's no, it's a different suit. Did I wear a suit for that one? I did, right?
You wore some kind of vest.
Wore something. Yeah, it was like something nice. I may have done the thing where to pinpoint an arc and create a journey. I may have done a thing where I started in a suit and then started shedding layers as I've been known to do that. The last actual production I was in, I did that again, where I started in a suit and I just started shedding layers as we got deeper into the show.
Fun fact, the glasses on your face are from that show.
No, not these ones.
Oh, not these ones? Oh,
no,
okay,
these ones I bought and purchased. But for a long time, there is footage. It's my ones before that, but there is footage. I did do I started Two Penny Games with those glasses. They were the rounded ones that looking back,
Brent
should not have spent so much time wearing those.
In that same production, I was the comic relief. I was the Earthworm. Yes, I loved that role. It's one of my favorites.
That was a fun show. I had a lot of fun with that show.
Very fun show.
Yeah, I miss acting a lot. I wish I had time to do more of it. There is a directing class on campus. I took it about a year ago. And a fellow student who I have a lot of respect for, she's very, very intelligent, had a little sidebar with me today, and she was like, "Hey, are you going to be auditioning for the directing class for the shows and stuff?" Because they pull from other theater students to produce, I think it's a 5-minute scene, or maybe it's a 10-minute scene or something like that. And so she pulled me to the side. She's like, "Hey, are you doing this?" And I was like, "I wasn't planning on it, but now if you have something in mind for me, I might see if I can find the time."
Yeah, I kind of get the itch for it now and again too. I feel like we get, at least for me, I get a lot of that energy out doing the show, or the many different shows that we do. I really, really want, if we ever bring back Hype, I really want to do kind of like what we did for the first couple, and do the little pre-recorded sketches.
Yeah, the little skits. Yeah, those were a blast. I want to get weird with it, because we started them off very normal, and then we started rolling into a little more humor in them and so forth. But I think we started it so it was the idea of pitching the show with the first one of Metal Gear Solid, because I remember we did the whole dumb little bit of me playing Solid Snake, which I don't even play in Smash Brothers.
Right.
And then I laid out a dumb quote, and then you're like, "What?" Yeah. That was more just
I don't get it.
But then at some point it was just I think for 2 or 3, Metal Gear 2 or 3, it was probably 2, because I don't think we did one for 3. There was you had a cardboard box just sitting around, so I just knocked on your door, and then you opened it, and it cuts to just a cardboard box, and then
yes.
And then I think we just I don't remember what we did. I think it was just like a dumb little pan up to like me sticking my head in the doorway and going like, "Oh, it's time for Metal Gear."
Yeah, and then we had the title screen on the TV.
Yeah. Those were the times.
Yeah.
Those were the times. We don't have. Yeah, we this
Old
fucking
apartment
school. If I
days.
didn't have this fucking school thing, I would definitely lean into doing some more fun streaming gameplay stuff.
I remember I really wanted to do for when we played Sunshine. I really wanted to like just spray you with a hose in your bed.
Oh my god. I was thinking we do a wet t-shirt contest thing. That's
a funny one too.
That's what popped into my head. And I'd be like, oh man, we could do some glamour shots of like some dumb shit.
That's a funny one too.
I remember Connor helping us record a couple of those skits. And
I
remember
believe he helped us with the Smash one.
It might have been that, yeah, because we were both in that in that recording. So yeah, I think he was in there. And I remember us doing a take and then us reviewing the footage and me being like, Connor, you need to breathe much more like quieter, because like we hear you just like mouth breathe it. Yeah. I'm like, you need to
just the heavy breathing.
You need to not do that, buddy. Enrique, Mr. Ironcune in the chat. Hey, how's it going, buddy?
What's going on, Enrique? It's always good to hear from you.
Phil, why are we here?
Well, Tavin, I'm so glad you asked. This, of course, like I said at the top of the show, is our casual gaming podcast where we come together every Monday here on twitch.tv/2pennygames around 5 o'clock Central Time, maybe a little later, depending on when we can get you off of school, off of this fucking learning dumb shit, you know. You don't gotta know all that. We don't need all that. But anyway, like I said, on twitch.tv/2pennygames. And of course, if you're not catching us live, you will catch us every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Central on youtube.com/@2pennygames, along with all of your favorite podcast services that you use, Apple Podcast, Spotify, all that good stuff. Of course, this, like I said, is our casual gaming podcast where we kind of talk about our weekend games, what we hope to play, what we have been playing, what we look forward to. We play mini games every once in a while. Usually whenever it's just the two of us here, we have these discussions. Like last week, we had that very fiery debate about the tier list of PlayStation characters, which was a lot of fun. It was a good episode.
A lot of fun. I like doing those tier lists. I wish there was like an easier way to like bring up topics for it. You know what I'm saying? I feel you.
But yeah, have you been playing anything interesting recently, Tavin?
You know what, Phil? I haven't had a lot of time to play games this last week. Also, I want to give a shout out to Jamie in the chat. Hello. But I have not had a lot of time to play games this week. I have downloaded and started the Metaphor ReFantazio demo, which reviews for that went live today. I downloaded that demo, I want to say like 5-6 days ago. And just loaded up, played like the first like 10-15 minutes, which is mostly cutscene. So I haven't even really dipped my toe into that water yet. And of course, they're doing the lovely thing with that where like your progress in demo does carry over to the main game. So that's very nice.
It's what got me into Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah. I like the style. Immediately I like the style. I don't think they have a great intro. But I don't think this is a spoiler because it's the first 10 minutes and I don't really know anything that's going on anyway. I'm surprised at how kind of mature it seems to be taking itself, and specifically how violent it kind of gets. Really took me off guard. Metaphor ReFantazio, of course, from the people who make Persona, specifically, and SMT, but this is specifically the Persona team. And so yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to give time to. But right now it's not calling to me, but I'm definitely going to give it its just due for sure. Other than that, I've been playing a lot more Death Stranding, which I should not be playing right now, but I can't get enough.
Have you finished Ratchet yet?
I've not finished Ratchet. I'm close. I'm doing cleanup in it before, like, what's the last thing I did? I got the Hollow Guys. So I'm like a couple hours from being done.
Dude,
right?
If Connor wasn't out of town, I'd be lighting your ass up because it's past due, brother.
Oh, well, if Connor wasn't out of town, I would have gotten it done on time. So, no, I loaded into Ratchet last night, and I put like an hour or two into that, and I got the Hollow Guys, did a couple of cleanup things, got full the final health upgrade and stuff. So,
Ratchet and Clank, of course, is the game we're playing for our Two Penny Game Club, our game book club that we play a game. We usually either one of us chooses. It's every other month, so every other month one of us will choose a game, and then the next month we'll roll a wheel to choose a game for us to play that month, and we'll come together and we'll review it and then rank it among everything on the list. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, the last one we did was Banjo-Kazooie. I was gonna say. I was going to say I couldn't remember the last one we did, but it was Banjo-Kazooie. And then I, for the month of September, chose Ratchet and Clank. But of course, it is now October. Usually, we would have already had that episode up for the channel, but Connor is on a little vacation.
We were supposed to review it today. Today was supposed to be
today.
Yeah, would have been that. Shout out Ace J12 in the chat. Thank you for the follow. But yeah. Ratchet and Clank, still working my way through that. Well on my way to beating it. I could probably beat it tonight if I really, really wanted to. Definitely tomorrow because I have tomorrow off. So yeah, it'll get done, Phil. All right, it'll get done.
All right.
And there's a good chance it'll probably get platinumed.
There you go. Hey,
good chance. Replatinum, of course. I've done it once before.
I'm gonna say, yeah, get those skill points going.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to lean into that. A lot of the gold bolts, I have not found that many gold bolts. I'll tell you what, because I do not remember where they are off the top of my head.
I don't remember. The gold bolts I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I do remember there's some really good videos online for like how to do some of the skill points.
Yeah.
That's how I did it whenever I platinumed that last year, I believe.
Yeah.
So I got the platinum for that one.
Yeah. Ratchet and Clank is going to be an interesting review. Make sure everybody checks in for that. Make sure.
I think that's gonna be a good episode. Connor has never played it before. Me and you are old Ratchet and Clank heads.
Yeah.
Really excited to see what he has to say about it when he gets back and we record that. Myself, Tavin. I also haven't had the most time to play games, but I've been playing some games with my fiance, soon to be wife, in a couple weeks, Ash, and we've been playing through the PS4 version of It Takes Two.
Oh, okay.
For that platinum, because we platinumed that one for the PS5 a couple years back. I believe, because that was Game of the Year 2021, so we would have done it in 2022. So yeah, a couple years after that, and then also a game that has really like captured my attention for like, oh man, this is a lot of fun. I really want to sink more time into this. Is an early access game on Steam, TCG Card Shop Simulator.
Okay, that game's not out yet. Then. Yeah,
it's an early access game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard about this game, and I'm very interested in it. I thought it was out.
No, I mean, you can. It's fully playable on Steam.
Oh, okay.
You can buy it for $10, but it's not content complete yet.
Okay, I'll wait for content completion.
But it's a blast. It is so much fun. It's enough. Like it's not content complete, but it's got enough there to hold my attention. I was playing it one evening before Ash got home. And as like we were like thinking about what to do for dinner, I was like, oh no, I can throw this together. And so I got up and then I was telling her about it just over text before she got home. She was like, oh my God, I know this game. I saw it on TikTok. And so she I kind of hired her as like a part-time employee to run the cash register while I was making dinner. And it's just a lot of fun. It's just so fun to just sit there, open packs, sell all these cool stuff. You can, you get a little like phone app to buy stock of like your restock all your products, like your card packs, your big boxes of multiple packs. At some point, I actually got you get like buy licenses to sell these things in your store. So I got these little plushies I can sell too, and you can like fully customize everything in your store, like you what shelves you have, like where to place everything. Everything's fully moved. It's kind of a small space to start, but you can upgrade your store as you go and make it bigger, and then eventually you can get a second store. It's pretty in depth. I'm not gonna lie. I think if you're interested, you should go ahead and check it out.
I am very interested, but I'd rather wait for content complete.
You can also get like a card table for like people to come in, and they basically rent the card table to play like this TCG game in the store, and they like pay you for that too. It's just super cool. It's also pretty neat. Like when you pause the game, there's like a little list on the side of the screen that has kind of like their roadmap for what they want to do with the game. And at some point, there's going to be like a fully playable version of the card game. So I think that'll be pretty neat.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like the little like
a lot of fun.
I like the little like semi renaissance we have with like card games right now. At least like indie card games right now. Like Inscription from a few years ago, but of course like Balatro from earlier this year that has been taking up everybody's time. Just launched on mobile. I know you've been fucking around on the mobile.
I have been ripping some Balatro on mobile.
Yeah.
It is such a good, like, if I'm at work and like the rush is over and I'm just waiting for servers to get done like with their last rounds in their theaters and clean everything, I'm just there in the office just on my phone playing some rounds of Balatro. And let me tell you, this game, it's still fucking good. It's still good. Really, really good.
It's a good game.
And let me tell you, with all this time I've been spending on mobile, it's probably going to move its way up on my top 10 list. I'm not going to lie. It's really taken a hold of me.
Nice. It's a quality game. It's a quality game.
Very quality.
It's definitely going to be on my top 10. Probably pretty low as I keep adding things to it and putting new stuff on there and so forth, but it'll definitely be on there. Is that because I've spent a good portion of this year playing some mid-ass video games? Yeah, it has. I played, my last, not including Astrobot, my last 3 reviews were some fucking stinkers. Not stinkers, but one stinker, but just a couple of like, nah.
Your last 3 being, sorry, don't tell me. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
He's in there.
Last 3 being, Stellar Blade, which I'm gonna say is not necessarily a stinker, but it's kind of mid.
It's the best of them.
Best of them. Okay. Yeah. Second one being the Rise of the Ronin.
Yep.
And then the last one being the Plucky Squire.
Nope. Oh, I forgot about the Plucky Squire. So X Plucky Squire, X Astrobot. So I guess of the last 5 games I've reviewed, 3 of them were crap. The one before that, can you get there? I was really not enjoying it. Really did not enjoy it.
Shit.
Not good. Not a good game.
I don't remember.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, yes. Okay. Star Wars Outlaws.
Big poo-poo. That was one that like sometimes while you're reviewing you want to like make a point of it and like play it, like roll credits, get through all of it and just be like just dissect all of its elements and just be like, I know that this game is garbo, yada 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 yada, and I just want to like unload the clip on it and so forth. And I, for the most part, did that with the Star Wars Outlaws review. But I didn't have the time to get to the end. But I got probably 5-10 hours away, 5 to 10 hours away from the credits rolling on that. And that game's. Ugh, that game's boo-boo. All these headlines of like it underperformed for Ubisoft. Yeah, like this is what happens in a year of like not the best quality Star Wars stuff. Like people are burnt out on Star Wars, and it's a lot of it has been not good. And so it's just unfortunate. Jamie, I don't know if you're talking about us in the chat, but our YouTube is youtube.com/@ the @ symbol. At 2Penny Games, spelled out just like the Twitch channel.
Yeah, I've definitely had, I think, better games to review than you have. I think
undeniably. So like, and it's again like I talked about this. Was it last week or the week before? It must have been last week. Where I'm just in a point right now where I'm just so busy in my real life that when I get home, I just want to turn my brain off and just enjoy things. So that's why I've been playing Death Stranding, because I'm just like, I'm like, fuck it, man. Let me walk in the rain and like balance some packages on my back. And
Yeah.
What's funny about that game is, you know, as you progress and you get better at carrying packages and you start like fabricating equipment that helps you carry packages and so forth, the stack that you progressively start building on your back gets ridiculously tall. I forgot about that.
I've seen clips of it where like it just gets really, really high.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think if you see clips without context, you're like, your brain goes, okay, yeah, you can stack it really high. That is really high. But like when you start the game and you're like putting like, I don't know, like 10 packages on your back and you're stacking them, you're like, yeah, that looks like an appropriate amount to stack on your back. And then you get like some more equipment and you like, there's like the leveling up system like also allows you to carry more weight and stuff in that. And so like eventually, like if you like put it all on the ground and then go and like you just mash triangle to put it on your back real quick, you're mashing triangle for a minute and it stacks up. It is easily like twice the height of Sam Porter Bridges, and you're like, "Fucking Christ, this is huge."
Next year is the year that I play through. I think I said it last week. It's the year that I play through Death Stranding and also The Last of Us Part 2.
I'm interested to see how you feel about both those games. I know you played through Last of Us 1 fully this year.
I did.
But you've known the story for years, but you've also like seen the TV show and stuff. So you're familiar with The Last of Us intimately. I
still know like bullet points of part 2.
It is
but I'm interested to like get like the full experience.
Right. The first one is certainly like not a happy game by any means, or a happy story by any means. But it's got a lot of heart in it still, and I think the youth of Ellie is why it does. I'm curious, knowing you, Phil, how you will respond to just how drab and depressing Part 2 is. Like it is a intentionally upsetting game. Like,
am I gonna need to re-up on Prozac? Am I gonna get really depressed? Is that gonna happen?
No, because like my first time playing it, like I remember like gut lurching. Like I remember putting it down the first night and feeling nauseous. Because I was like, fuck, man, like they're doing it. Like they're really, really doing it. And these are all in good, like when I say these things, I mean them in good ways. It's like the intention of the art in a good way to do this. It's not like, I haven't seen it yet. I might see it tomorrow. Joker 2 apparently intentionally is trying to upset its audience, but it's not doing a good job of it. Like, so it is upsetting its audience, and it did intend to upset its audience, but that, not in the ways that it was intending to do, is what it seems like.
I'm off tomorrow too. We can go see it together.
I gotta hit Nicole about it. It'll be off later in the evening and type stuff. So,
you suck.
Yeah.
Bros before hoes, dude. Come on.
Anyways, Last of Us Part 2 is intentionally upsetting in a good way, I think. So I'm curious to see how you vibe with it. I think there was a portion of the audience that I think appreciated it but didn't like it because they were like, I just don't want to be this upset. I remember I played through both games with my mom and my sister, and Part 2, my mom was like, oh my God, this is incredible. But my sister was like, this just made me sad, and I don't want to be fucking sad. And I was like, you know what? That's a valid response. That's a valid.
Sorry,
valid
I
response.
just realized that my Spider-Man fell down earlier. Hang on.
It's also undeniably, I think that game's too long. It's too long. Why is it 20 hours? Why?
My little Spider-Man guy fell.
It's debatably, depending on what you do in both games, it's longer than Spider-Man 2, which doesn't feel right. Like that shouldn't be the case. I mean,
Spider-Man 2 just flies by though. It doesn't feel long at all. Because it's not.
That's what people say. I think it's pretty well paced. Feels right to me.
No, I'm not saying it's too short. Not trying to say that. Like I said, it just flies by. You know,
it's so fun to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's fun to be Spider-Man.
It's fun to be Spider-Man.
Time flies when you're having fun. You know, it just swings by, you might say. But anyway, Tavin, we are here to kind of make up for not necessarily makeup, because I think that was still a quality episode last week. But you had a mini game prepped for last week. But let's go ahead and just hop into that, and that's what we'll do today, brother.
Yeah, it's a real basic, easy one. We're gonna do a draft pick, Phil, you and I, and we're gonna do a draft pick of if you're not aware what a draft pick is, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have 5 slots for our team. We're gonna build a team of 5 games or franchises. In this case, it will be franchises. And we will take turns selecting games. Once it's selected, you can't, it's taken off the board. You can't reselect it. And this week we're doing a draft pick, the best story-based franchises in games. So the best the games or franchises that are story-based that are the best of them. So I'm very curious as to how this is gonna go. But real quick, to decide order, at least on who is going first. Shut the fuck up, TikTok. I'm gonna flip a coin. Phil, call it.
I'll call tails. Sonic's best friend.
It's heads. If it's given a fucking YouTube.
I saw a little the brightness corrected, and then there you go.
Boom, boom, boom. So I'll be going first. The first one you got to pick. You got to start. It's tricky, right? Because you're like, oh, there's ones I want to get in there. There's ones I want to represent for the team, right? But you also you want to fucking win. You know, you want to have the better team. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's tricky. It's tricky. There's a lot of great examples out there. There's a lot of great examples. We did just talk about The Last of Us. You know what I'm saying?
We did, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Might have been engineered to that conversation might have been engineered by me as a psyop to inject that into your brain to pick that first.
It might just be. So I'm between 3 right now for my first pick. I'm gonna take
some mulling around in my own brain.
You know what? I think I'm between 4 right now. But I'm gonna take The Last of Us. I think that's the highest quality stories in games have been told in those 2 games. I think those are the highest quality stories. My favorites, not necessarily, but up there for sure. But highest quality.
Go off.
Yeah,
Go off. Yeah. I mean, there is a reason that they adapted it for the screen there.
And it worked
on the TV show.
And it worked.
And it worked very, very well. Very curious as to see what they have planned for us for season 2. There've been a lot of things rolling around the internet about them stretching the second game into 2 seasons, which sounds correct.
Probably 3 seasons.
Well, they said 2 to 3. They said they weren't sure.
Yeah. It's gonna be 3. Because they gotta pad that time out for that 3rd game to come out before they're done.
People can sink their teeth into that game.
Yeah. I'm excited. I hope it's good. Whenever it happens. We're a long way away from that. Probably that's like a 2030 game. And then you start doing
I was gonna say 27, but you say 30. Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. I mean there is a chance that Naughty Dog wants to put pedal to the metal and get a game out fast because they just had their last one fall through or whatever. But I think we're getting a different game from Naughty Dog before we get Last of Us 3.
But when you think about it, the original Last of Us came out 2013. Part 2 was 2020.
7 years. Yeah. Well, they also did 2 Uncharted games in between there.
Sure, but I'm saying that team is there's going to be a small team kind of focused on whatever part 3, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
While in the meantime, they'll have people working on other things, and then they'll finish whatever that other thing is, and then go on till The Last of Us Part 3 or whatever it is. Yeah. And that's jazz, baby.
Oh, yeah. But I am also concerned from a logistical standpoint. Of course, it's more than one person working on a video game, and Naughty Dog's a big studio. They got hundreds of people over there. So, of course, it's not dependent upon one person, but it is a Neil Druckmann baby. And Druckmann is heavily involved in the development of the TV show. And I'm very, very curious how he's balancing all of those things, because he's also president of Naughty Dog. So president of Naughty Dog, creative director, and executive producer of a TV show all at once, plus some other stuff that he does. He's a busy guy. You know, how is that going to affect production, if it affects production?
A lot of spinning plates,
yeah.
For my first pick, Tavin, I'm confident that this is one of the ones you were mulling around. I'm going to pick Mass Effect.
It was in my head, but it was not one of the big ones.
Okay.
It was not one of those, the ones that I was debating too, but I am.
It was just one that it was immediately what I thought of when you brought it up, because, you know, you can pick what I know you're going to pick next. You can pick that, you know, but you can't go wrong with Mass Effect, right? The only way you can go wrong is if you make Andromeda.
Yeah, that went pretty wrong. That game's not great. Not terrible, but not good. I
love that universe. I love that like cast of characters we got. I love all the different like you'll almost never hear me say this again, but I love like the politics of it. All the different ways that the races interact with each other, and that they all kind of have their like niches in kind of whatever military operations they do. You know, I think all that kind of stuff is really neat. And I like that all of them kind of have their own place in the universe.
Reminder, we did a Piggy Bank episode pretty recently, within the last month or so, where we had probably last month, almost exactly, actually, now I think about it.
Yeah, it was early September.
We had Connor and myself pitch to you, Phil, our ideal Mass Effect game. You know, one in our heads. So that was a really fun episode to record and talk through and stuff. So I highly recommend that people subscribe to the YouTube channel and find that video.
Check that episode out, yeah,
because it's quite good. I love Mass Effect. Sad to see it go, but you know. In the case, some of those characters love to watch it leave. You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
Yeah, it was September 7th that episode was published.
Exactly a month ago. There we go. Okay. So now I'm still stuck between another 3 games.
Oh, but we know what you want to pick.
Yeah, it is. It's a matter of heart versus head here, you know?
And we know what you want to pick. Come on.
And so, in the hopes that maybe it flies under the radar and I can get it back later. Ooh. See, I feel like if I grab one, you're gonna grab the other.
We'll see.
Which is annoying. And I can't be disrespected on this platform. Not again. Not again. So I'm gonna go, Phil, Metal Gear Solid.
Of course.
Metal Gear Solid. I can't risk being disrespected. Even though you're probably going to take my next pick with this next selection anyway, which is unfortunate. But you know, we're gonna have to let it happen. Metal Gear Solid, of course, great stories, kind of revolutionized storytelling and being able to take stories seriously in games.
Yeah.
And then Kojima, a visionary, really knows how to play with the medium in a way that like I think established what exactly was cool about video games, and it's that there is a player, there is an interactive element to it. He just from the jump knew how to make that interesting, and that's led to some phenomenal stories.
I agree. I love me some good Metal Gear. I've it's been documented my Metal Gear journey. On this channel.
I'm so excited to see your reaction to Metal Gear Solid 2, because when we did it for hype, I feel like the last couple hours of it kind of went over your head a little bit. Part of that was technical issues, because we were having some technical issues at the end of that stream and the cutscenes were desynced.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so some of those final cutscenes may have not impacted the way that they should have, but I'm very curious to see how you react to those last couple of hours this time around.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I like Metal Gear. Kojima, like you said, is visionary. For my next pick, I'm gonna go to another visionary, one that we've compared with Kojima before. I'm gonna our good friend Tetsuya Nomura, I'm gonna say Final Fantasy.
Interesting. Wow, actually was not on my radar, Final Fantasy, which excites me. Couple of great highlights, especially if you're focused on story and narrative. The last couple have been fantastic between the 7 remakes and 16. Have been fantastic examples of storytelling in video games.
People love Final Fantasy X. People love 9,
9 and 7 and 6.
6,
of course. Yeah. From there, gets a little spotty.
A little hit or miss from places.
But the highs are so high. You know?
Oh yeah,
so high. So
very high ceiling for Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Nomura,
very low dude. Floor though. Very low floor.
Nomura, weird dude, but he makes some really fun video games.
You know, I was looking around. I was thinking of the exploring the scale of quality that Final Fantasy does. I think Final Fantasy hit percentage is higher than this other franchise, but it reminds me of Resident Evil and how Resident Evil has explored the scale of quality quite thoroughly. And again,
join the gambit.
I think Final Fantasy has done a better job consistently over Resident Evil. There's a lot of really bad Resident Evil games.
Is there a Final Fantasy that is on the same floor as Resident Evil 6? I doubt it.
I mean, if we're talking main lines, I mean, you might just be looking at the early ones, but I can't speak to the quality of those ones because they're so old, and I haven't played them. In the modern era, no, I don't think there has been. I don't think, yeah. I mean, you can talk like some of the spin-off titles, like, but mainline, no, I don't think so. But if you start reaching into spin-off, Resident Evil also runs the gambit there too, and has some of the worst video games of all time in there.
Very true.
I'm so excited to get you to play 5 and 6, because I can't wait for us to get to 6 and you go, how did we get here? How did this happen?
How did we get here?
Like, yeah,
what's happening now?
Yeah, because like I know you didn't like love Resident Evil 1 remake. Like, you didn't love that game, but you like can appreciate it and recognize that it's high quality.
Yeah, it's quality for sure.
Yeah, and then you've played Resident Evil 2 remake, you've dabbled in 4, and so like you've seen some pretty high quality Resident Evil titles. And then when we get to 6, you're just gonna be like, what happened? Whoa! Holy shit!
To be fair, I played. I didn't play the original Resident Evil 2. I played the remakes.
I believe I said that. Did I?
Oh,
not?
I'm sorry.
Well, you also played 2 and 3 remake, but 3 remake is just like okay. It's just okay.
Yeah. But like it's is it really that different playing an old game such as like the original Resident Evil 2 and 6? Is it that much of like a scale or like a worse feeling to play a video game?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like does the clunkiness of the OG RE2 offset or kind of balance out with the maybe 6 is fun to play, but it's dog shit story? I
think 5 lives in that realm of this is fun to play, but narratively it's ridiculous, right? 6
punching boulders, I see.
Right, yeah. God. And then spoilers, they acknowledge that in Village. There's a character who's like making fun of Chris Redfield. It's a boss character or whatever, and he goes, Chris Redfield, that boulder punching idiot. And I'm like, all right, well, when you acknowledge the meme, it's not like cool anymore. Like it's just kind of lame.
Heisenberg do that or what?
I believe so. Yeah. This is a terrible character, Heisenberg. Village is good, but it's not. Yeah, it's not one of my favorites. Anyways, to answer your question, I think Resident Evil 6 is just so off the mark.
Okay.
Like I think they went in with the best of intentions and they had some really interesting ideas, but it's so off the mark of what it should be. And I also think like that team just didn't really know what they were doing. And, it's been documented that the team was split into 3, and the 3 teams went off and built out the 3 main campaigns, like, separately, and you can kind of feel it because each one has a different tone and almost a different art style between the three. So yeah, it's just not a very quality game.
We recently just came across some kind of anniversary for Resident Evil 6. I remember people tweeting about it the other day.
Yeah, 10 years? No.
Something like that.
11 years. Had to have been 11. I don't know what it was. I can't tell you.
I just remember Gene Park was tweeting about it all day. So
yeah. I mean, and it's funny because Gene Park was showing clips of like, if you play Resident Evil 6 more like it's Devil May Cry and less like it's Resident Evil, it's a lot more fun. And I'm like, you know what? That might be true, but I still don't think it's a good game. I was looking around on the PlayStation Store on my PlayStation 3, Phil.
Oh, yeah?
The entire Resident Evil OG trilogy is on there for like, in total, like $23. Pretty good deal. You have to buy them each individually. 2 and 3 are like $6. 1 is like 10.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and move on to your third pick here, Tevin.
Indeed. Shocked you didn't grab it, Phil. Can't believe you didn't grab it. I'm going to go with God of War.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't think about it, yeah. I just... When I think of God of War as a whole, I don't necessarily see it as a story-based game. I think of it more as... Like, sure, the last two, they overpower with, like, their ridiculously strong narrative.
Yeah.
But, when you think of God of War, to me, I just think of the hack and slash, like, action.
Of course. Which still lives, still is in the DNA of the new game.
Sure.
But
yeah.
Definitely it takes a different direction than those old ones. I think the old ones, story, narrative-wise, are fine. They're fine games. Like,
am I yes, a little annoyed that you grabbed it from me? Sure.
Yeah.
But,
right. Yeah. I'm shocked you went Final Fantasy over it. But I still think the story of those old games are still good. Like, they're still quality. There's still moments in those games where you go, "Oh, they're cooking here. Oh, they're really cooking." Yeah. And then there's a lot of moments where you're like, "All right, he just used a goddamn hooker as a fucking lever. What the fuck just happened?"
Tavin, explain to me like the narrative importance of that Aphrodite sex scene.
Oh, well, if you don't know, Phil, having sex with women is cool.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's real cool to have sex with
women. Never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Never would have thought of that.
Yeah. It's so cool, in fact, women should try it more. Anyways, but no, the last two games, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Like, just what a way to, like, I always think Kratos was always a good character, but way to elevate him to, like, holy shit, what the fuck level character.
S tier status as demonstrated by our tier list last week.
Absolutely. So, like, the narratives of those last two games are so incredible, so well written and directed and acted. Holy shit. So yeah, off the backs of those two alone, the rest being solid enough foundation, cool. But those last two that have happened, yeah, some of the best that
big time.
The medium has to
offer. For sure. With that, let me just roll in to my third pick, and I'm feeling. I think my last two, I don't know if you're gonna go for. So
I've got one in the cut that I'm shocked you haven't grabbed yet. Well, I'm not shocked, but I'm. If you don't grab it here, I'll be shocked.
See, that worries me because now I think you're gonna grab it. I know one of them you're not gonna be caught dead with it on your list.
That's probably because it's bad.
No, it's not bad. It's fantastic. I don't think of that as like a phenomenal story-based franchise,
Interesting. I have no idea where he's going with this.
Not the one that I'm worried about you taking, but the one that I'm mulling around possibly like taking from you. Like, sure, They're good games. I mean, the man was the face of the PS3 generation.
Oh. Okay.
I'm thinking about it, but I don't think I'm gonna go with him. So instead, I'm gonna go with what I think. I'm gonna go with what I think you think. I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna go with Red Dead Redemption.
That was it exactly. That was it exactly.
Yeah.
So this is another one. Sad to see it go because that's good points right there. That's good points right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Dead. Those games don't necessarily. Rockstar games in the modern era, especially, don't 100% speak to me. They always kind of reek of bloat. To me. But they're definitely. They definitely have some good like character driven stuff going on in them. And
I'm a big Western guy.
Yeah, I like the I like. Is that true? I mean, I like them for different reasons, but I do think I probably like Red Dead more than Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, without a doubt, that's the case for me.
Yeah. But I just like them for different reasons. Like, Red Dead to me is, I am role-playing, I am in this story, I am, being an outlaw and stuff. And sure, I still go on my, like, crazy murder runs or whatever, but for the most part, like, I am immersing myself as deep as possible into that. Whereas GTA... fucking, you give me 2 seconds to be bored and I'll blow up a car, blow up a car, jump out of a plane.
You're a psycho.
Yeah, and punch a pregnant woman or something. Like, I'll do crazy things in Grand Theft Auto, man. This is why I don't think GTA 5 works as a narrative, is because Trevor inherently doesn't work as a character because me as a player am Trevor all the time anyways. So... just throw it, like, being like, isn't he so crazy? And I'm like, I don't know, man. He beat one dude up for looking at him funny. I murdered 15 people on my way here, like, and blew up a tank. Like, what do you want? Like, you just don't seem that crazy to me because I'm the psychopath,
To me, crazy bread is just bread.
So, yeah. Red Dead Redemption, though. Great, pretty great narratives in those. I think both of them are way overbloated. Rockstar needs an editor more than probably any other developer on the planet, in my opinion. Followed only probably by Kojima. Kojima needs an editor, but fucking crazy. I hit in Death Stranding chapter 3, I believe, is the one where, like, they really, like, let you off the chain, and now you're doing everything. You're, like, all the gameplay elements are there, and you're playing with all the mechanics and so forth. The transfer from 2 to 3, it was like, all right, here's a cutscene. Here's another cutscene. Here's a cutscene. Here's a little boss fight. And I was like, oh, cool, little boss fight. Let me do a little boss fight. And then I put the controller down for 30 minutes, and I was like, all right, here we go. Moving on to number 4.
Mm-hmm.
This is where things do indeed get a little tricky. We've hit the big boys, I think, and there's certainly more to pick from. But where do I want to go quality wise? If I want to go quality wise, because we're in the final 2, so now it's time for fun. Also,
sure.
Now it's time for who do I want to rock with? Who do I want to represent?
Mm-hmm.
You got to get some of them in there.
Absolutely.
And there's quite a few on my list that I'd like to hit. There's one that I think, this little guy right here probably should be mentioned.
Sure. I alluded to him.
Yeah, for sure.
If you didn't catch all my subtlety.
No, yeah. The face of the PS3 generation really, like, I was like, oh yeah, that guy. I was not thinking about Nathan Drake until you mentioned that, and I was like, oh yeah, him, yeah. God, it's so hard. I'm trying to think of a franchise that I'm like fiending for. Like, what is something that, like, I need? Oh, I need this. I need to see more of this world, more of this story, and it's hard to find one. You know what? I'm going to play to myself this round, and then I'm going to have fun next round. And I'm going to go one good golly. You love to see him, Sly Cooper.
All right.
You know, which is it the best pick in the world? No, by all means, it's not the best pick in the world. But what Sly was doing in the era that he was doing it, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive stuff. Pretty high quality stuff. I think easily has the best narratives and characters of his competitors of the time. I think easily he takes that crown. There are other things that the other guys definitely do better, but in terms of like just storytelling and characters and relationships and doing fun things, putting these characters in fun situations, I think Sly did it the best. And so I'm gonna rock for my boy Sly here.
All right. I'm not mad at it. It's a little bit of an out there pick.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely one that you're gonna look at and be like, that one?
Yeah.
So I almost said Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah.
You know, you get emails in that game. Those emails tell a story, you know?
It's true. You know what other game you get emails in? This isn't my pick, of course, but
Death Stranding.
you get emails that tell stories.
So many emails.
You know, I think of, for whatever reason, the first thing I thought of was Slime Rancher.
What the fuck is that? I don't even know what that is.
Never played Slime Rancher?
No, I've never heard of this.
That's a fun game.
Let me look at
it's a nice little cozy game.
Let me look at this.
Running around an island, collecting little slimes, breeding them.
They have the same treatment as a Plucky Squire. Same art treatment here.
Let's see.
On Steam.
This was really hard because, like, I'm thinking of some franchises that aren't necessarily story based. I'm trying to think of, like, how much do we factor in, like, the lore of some of these franchises, you know? Like,
yeah, okay. I kind of see where you're going. There was a Slime Rancher 2 in September 2020.
There was, yeah. of a few years back. Yeah.
2016, the first game. That's interesting. I've never heard of these things before.
Story-based game. Ooh, that's actually not a bad pick because there's some fun stuff. There's not a whole lot of, like, there's some not very good stuff, but there's a pretty good amount of good stuff in that one. In that series. A lot of lovable characters in that franchise. I'm gonna hold on to that one, and I'm gonna go ahead and just pick one that's obvious for me, since you went with a heart pick for yourself. Go with one for me. I'm gonna say Kingdom Hearts for my pick.
All right, come on now, buddy.
Kingdom Hearts. another Tetsuya Nomura, one of his finest.
Okay. Just sync the list while you're at it, you know?
If you say so. Hey, I love me some Kingdom Hearts.
Listen, Kingdom Hearts is fun. Kingdom Hearts does some things great. Like, genuinely phenomenal stuff in there. Story's not one of them. Writing's not one of them, you know?
Says you.
And I stand on it, you know? 5. A lot of different options here. And debatably, an Uncharted should go into the list, but I don't wanna. Like, it's just kind of like, eh.
You can't make me. I don't wanna.
You know, it's kind of like, yeah. I love Uncharted. I love Nathan Drake. I love Uncharted 4 and 2, and shout out to Lost Legacy. Lost Legacy is a great game, underrated as hell. But Phil, I'm gonna counter your first pick and round out some BioWare.
Yeah, are you?
Wait a minute.
Are you?
Am I going to do it? I'm gonna do it. Still gonna round it out with some BioWare, Phil, but not in the way that I was initially gonna go. And I'm going big Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
I knew you would. As soon as you said BioWare.
Knights of the Old Republic. Initially was gonna go with their other one, but you know.
I know you were gonna say Dragon Age,
it
but
popped into my head, and I went, no, wait.
I figured you'd say KOTOR.
Wait, because you know I've played a Dragon Age game, and I've played a KOTOR, you know, and I like the KOTOR more. I like it more.
Sure. Kind of cheating. It's established franchise, you know.
Yeah, but I'm like I'm only like focused on the KOTOR part of it. I'm not focused on the rest
I'm just
of it.
busting your balls. I picked Kingdom Hearts, dude. It's Disney. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Now for my last
bastardization
pick,
of Disney too.
Do what?
I said it's a bastardization of Disney also.
Some of them, yeah.
Fucking Tron.
Hey, no. That Tron level's great.
Tron level's great. Tron level, to my memory, was great. Yeah.
And then in the 3DS game Dream Drop Distance, which was later ported to one of the other collections, they do Tron Legacy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I got Olivia Wilde.
When was the last time you thought there is? When was the last time you thought about that movie?
Never.
Really?
No, I've not seen it.
You haven't seen Tron Legacy? That's actually a really good movie.
I loaded up on Netflix one day. This was a long time ago, probably over 10 years ago at this point. Loaded it up on Netflix one day, watched about 15 minutes, fell asleep.
Oof.
Woke up.
Tough.
No idea what was going on.
Tough. Let me tell you, Tavin, unrelated, but talking about movies. I've been grinding out some stuff on this here Letterboxd.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. You doing this Letterboxd thing. You can make lists and stuff, and you can rank them. It's assign star values to movies you watch. It's really, really fun.
Very nice.
Been having a blast. I did
nice.
today. I hammered out a Christian Bale ranking.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now there's some prominent Christian Bale movies that I've yet to see, so it's not a complete Christian Bale ranking. But would you like to venture a guess as to what my number one is?
Well, I sure hope it's not Batman.
No. And this is for the roles he plays, not necessarily the movies.
Right. Oh, interesting. That adds up to. Yeah. Are you putting Gore on there?
Gore is actually, I believe, number 6 on my list.
Okay, that feels appropriate. The next one I go is American Psycho for like actual quality. One of his greats.
American Psycho is my number 1.
There you go. Incredible performance. Crazy movie.
Yeah, crazy movie.
Can't wait to watch it again with Nicole. She's gonna fucking lose her shit.
Now kind of going back to do what? Sorry.
Where do you go from there?
Right.
What was the boxing movie he did? But he played like the strung out drug addict.
The Machinist.
Yeah.
That one's one that's on my watch list that I need to watch before I can rank it.
Oh, that's a good one.
There's also The Fighter.
I might be thinking of that one.
Are you?
I might be. I wanted to say Warrior, but that was a different one. I'm gonna have
no, Warrior is Jake Gyllenhaal.
That one's Southpaw.
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Warrior,
Southpaw. I believe, is Tom Hardy. Before he was Tom Hardy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my top 5, I've only got 12 parts on the Christian Bale ranking, but top 5, number 5 we got The Dark Knight Rises. Number 4 we got number 5 Batman number 5 Dark Knight Rises, then number 4 Batman Begins, number 3 The Dark Knight, number 2 Ford vs Ferrari.
Huh?
And number 1 is American Psycho.
Yeah, there's a couple of things he's done that should definitely be over.
Well, like I said, I haven't seen all the other ones. Like on my watch list for this, I have Amsterdam, which I heard bad things about. I haven't seen that one yet.
I don't know that one.
Yeah. Vice, which is where he plays Dick Cheney.
I need to see that one. I have not seen it, and I want to.
The Big Short.
I haven't seen
that American Hustle. The Fighter.
Have I seen American Hustle? I don't think I have. That one's the one with Amy Adams, yeah? It's like a star-studded cast.
Yes.
Remember Amy Adams because it's Amy Adams.
The Fighter, Public Enemies.
Don't know that one. The other
it's about old bank robbers. That one.
The other Nolan movie that he has.
The Prestige.
The Prestige. Don't care for that movie, but that performance.
That's the next one that's on my watch list, and then the last one is The Machinist that I have on my watch list here for Christian Bale roles. Anyway, back to my not tier list, my draft. I'm gonna go with one that I know is a quality pick, and it's not the one that I was mulling over in my head earlier. I'm gonna say The Witcher.
Okay. Yes. Very high quality. I'm kind of mad that I didn't think about it. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Fantastic pick. Something that kind of like rings true throughout the games, even when the games themselves aren't the best in the world, like 1 and 2. 2, of course, still a great game, but not to the level that 3 is. But yeah, 1 is a little duct taped together. From my understanding of it, I've not played it, but I've seen a lot of footage. And but yeah, the narrative always rings true in that franchise. And so yeah, the little jealous of that one. Witcher 3 is so fucking good. God, I can't wait to get to that in Game Club. But I do want to play the first one. I want to play the first one. That one's gonna be an interesting one to do, for sure.
Yeah, the one that I was kind of mulling over, and kind of saying like it's not the strongest narratively, but there's some lovable characters. I was gonna say Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. It popped into my head for a minute, but it quickly left because I was like, it's not. When you actually like write it down and look at it on paper, you're like, it's not that good. it's really not. Of course, Dragon Age was gonna be my number 5 until I remembered KOTOR. Uncharted up in there also, and what was some other ones that I was thinking of that I was mulling over and thinking of? You know, some guys like some Ghost of Tsushima rolled around in my head a little bit. Horizon rolled around in my head a little bit.
Horizon did not even come across my my head. I don't know. I've tried that game a bit and I just haven't really gotten. But I mostly tried the second one. I haven't really put that much time into attempting the first one.
Yeah, I liked the first one better. I think the first one's got a really good onboarding to where you're like, yeah, I'm into this. Like, or I want to see this character's arc and see it through type shit. But and then of course, you know, the narrative crutch of the game starts to reveal itself and you're like, oh, this is interesting. But then by the time you roll around to 2, how long it took to get to 2, it was just kind of like, all right, this just kind of feels like more of what I already did. I don't know if I had too many more in my head past that. Yeah, so we're going to call it there. The final listing is for Phil. Number 1, Mass Effect. Number 2, Final Fantasy. Number 3, Red Dead Redemption. Number 4, Kingdom Hearts. Number 5, The Witcher. And then Tavin, number 1, The Last of Us. Number 2, Metal Gear Solid. Number 3, God of War. Number 4, Sly Cooper. And number 5, Star Wars: The Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah,
I'm happy with my list.
I'm fine with
both.
I'm gonna say. He said that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. You know,
that's all I'm saying. I'm happy.
Shot myself in the foot with Kingdom Hearts, but you know, it's all I'm gonna say.
No, I did not shoot myself in the foot.
Come on. Got like if you
where do you want me to go? Where do you want me to go? You said, come on. Where am I going?
If you had gone like Yakuza, I'd been like, oh, okay, interesting. But you know, all right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is a draft pick.
Indeed, yeah. That of course is. I think that's a quality episode there, Tevin.
I think that's a piggy bank.
It's of course not as long as the one last week, but I think that's a good thing.
We're still over.
We're still over an hour. That's a good point. What do you think? What would your draft pick be? Drop in the comments. Let us know whose list do you like more. Let us know what your top 5 there would be, and make sure you drop a follow on all the socials, which are down in the description below. Give a nice follow to the channels on Twitch, YouTube. Follow the TikTok. Tavin and Connor do a great job posting videos over there. And of course, make sure you tune into all of our reviews and podcasts and all that good stuff. And Tavin, let's go and say goodbye.
Goodbye.